All right, Lincoln, take it away.
Cool. Hey everyone, appreciate you all coming. My name is Lincoln. I am the product lead on Coinbase Developer Platform's Agent Kit, which is our tool for giving every AI agent access to a crypto wallet and a full set of on-chain interactions. I'll go a little bit more into what that means later on, but today I'll be talking about one key thing, which is why AI really needs crypto. I'll be breaking this down in a couple different ways. One is a state of AI agents as it exists right now, an introduction into the Coinbase Developer Platform, and Agent Kit's role in where AI and crypto agents are going. And then I'll leave off with some things that we're thinking about and some of the coolest projects that we've seen built thus far. So on-chain AI agents is three buzzwords that separately are all super overhyped and very frothy, but when you mix them all together, it gets exponentially more so. I imagine, as you all have seen, for all of your ETH Denver, AI agents are something that everyone is talking about, and it's become very, very, very frothy. And I don't blame them. When you have AI agents like Luna from Virtuals putting on these massive concerts and being the face of this DJ type thing, it seems very clear that this is going to be the future, or at least it's something that everyone is interested in and really excited about for the time being. This is a map of the crypto AI agent landscape. It came out around early, mid-January, and it does a great job of providing a comprehensive overview of the projects that were out at that time. However, since then, you might see some confusing names on here, and a lot of these projects are already down 95, 98%. There's other projects that have come in and take their place, and this whole market map is continually evolving and moving, and I think that goes to show how fast the crypto space, when coupled with AI, starts to move. I've been in crypto now for about 8 years, and I've never seen anything quite as fast-moving as the AI crypto space. Here's a typical graph of what sort of like tech hype cycles look like. Obviously, I think it's pretty clear to see that we're somewhere in the peak of inflated expectations right now, but after being here all week, I really think it looks a little bit more like this. It feels like literally everyone is talking about AI, and there's so much noise. So hopefully this talk will help sort of guide you and ground you a little bit into the way that Coinbase Developer Platform is thinking about AI agents and the directions that we really see things going. Lastly, one more fun graph before we really get into it. This is where AI agents are right now. I wish we went a little bit further back, but as you can see, it's already hit $20+ billion market cap. It's fallen a little bit, but it's interesting to see that this whole time agents continue to grow. And this is how I think it'll play out. I think we'll have exponential growth in the number of agents, and we will start to see every single person have access to an AI agent with a crypto wallet. And the market caps of these sort of like meme coin agent stuff, maybe they'll go up in the meantime with speculation. But really, ultimately, where this value will derive is not specifically to these tokens that have no value but are associated with some AI project, but to the unique services and data that these AI agents are using to interact. So where might we head? Thus far this week, I've seen three things that have really concerned me about the dialogue around AI agents. I don't know if any of you were around in 2021, but I thought this picture was fairly relevant. It's Jimmy Fallon talking about Bored Apes on The Tonight Show with Paris Hilton. And I feel like we're kind of at that point with the AI cycle, where it's just getting a little bit ridiculous. The first thing I noticed is that we're going down this infrastructure rabbit hole. I feel like crypto has a tendency to constantly focus on what we should be building for 3 to 5 years from now and forget about all of the innovation and progress that we've made to get to the point where we are today. There's so many cool things that we can build, but people are still talking about all of these theoretical architectures, how you can make things more decentralized and verifiable. And while, yes, that's important, I think it overshadows a lot of the work that's gotten us to this point. The second is, as I've kind of already hinted at, this idea of AI meme coins and valueless tokens. We've seen a lot of interest into the AI space, and particularly around these AI agent tokens. And while I'm certainly a fan of the idea of using a token so that developers can garner interest in their protocol and spin up their marketing and get more funding to do cool stuff, I think it's gotten a little bit out of hand. Lastly, I've been seeing the same thing built 800 times over again, just in different siloed environments. It feels very much like everyone's trying to capture their piece of the pie instead of going for new value additive things that can push the space forward. And as a result, we're seeing a lot of the same things over and over again. We recently sponsored an online hackathon with ETH Global. We had 270 submissions for Agent Kit, which was insane. And about 30% of those were a very similar project, which is just kind of like a ChatGPT style wallet to interact on chain. I don't think that's necessarily invaluable, but you only need one of them. And maybe you have a couple competitors, but we're getting to the point where there's a lot of overlapping fields, and people just need to take a step back and recognize where we are in the space and what they should be building. That being said, I know I sound very bearish. All hope is not lost. I'm working on the AI stuff, so like, if I didn't think it was going to go somewhere, I wouldn't be here right now. Before I go into where I think we really are going, I think it's important to set the context a little bit about what CDP is and how we're thinking about AI agents generally, and what tools we provide to builders. The whole idea is to make it as easy as possible for anyone to come on chain and start building. We want to have 1 million developers building for 1 billion people. And the only way we get there is by making it as simple as possible for anyone to build on-chain apps. We do this by having all sorts of different components like Coinbase Commerce Rails, fiat to crypto with like a guest checkout using Apple Pay, and all sorts of other fun stuff to help builders go viral and get them massive distribution. This is kind of an overview of our product stack. We got all sorts of different fun stuff. The ones I'll highlight are really just the 3 main verticals that we're thinking about, which are payment stacks, so all the things that you need to do to accept stablecoin payments for your business or create an app that accepts stablecoin payments. Our on-chain tools, which provide all of the key components and pieces like data, faucets, gas sponsorship for your users, and then our different development frameworks. So on-chain kit is all the different buttons and things you need to click for your front ends to have crypto components. The CDP SDK is all the different backend components. And we also have Agent Kit, which is a lovely segue into what exactly it is. So, as I mentioned, we've seen a lot of froth in this space. The goal of Agent Kit is to make it as easy as possible for every single AI agent, regardless if it's built in crypto or AI or wherever, to have access to a crypto wallet and a full set of on-chain interactions. It can be built using ELIZA, it can be built using virtuals, LangChain, whatever. Doesn't matter. Within 4 lines of code, you'll have all of the things that you want and none of the ones you don't for your agent to use. We think this is particularly valuable because agents need to have some sort of payment rail. There's no very easy way for an AI agent to get access to a bank account. Even if they did, there would be all sorts of issues related to the legacy banking system, like sending money cross-border or in any sort of fast manner. Ultimately, I think regardless of whether or not you're a crypto developer or an AI developer, you're going to want a seamless, streamlined way to give your AI agent access to a payment rail with the added benefits of completely fee-free. You can send money anywhere in the world, and you can earn yield on it with existing DeFi protocols. One common question is, how do you get these agents to start interacting with Amazon, DoorDash, whatever? I think short term, what we're going to see is that these agents could also have access to a Visa debit card, where they can top it up with stablecoins and start to interact with these existing legacy systems while still having all of the benefits of crypto where it makes sense for them. And then longer term, what we might see is that more merchants start to get onboarded into the stablecoin payment flows, and they can start to interact with these agents directly. So within that landscape map I talked about earlier, this is kind of where I think Agent Kit lies. And the whole idea is that it's not necessarily like the training or data, AI, like the real gigabrain stuff infrastructure. And it's not necessarily its own framework. It plugs into all of the frameworks. It lives at this middle level where it's the set of tools for anyone who wants to use an agent to integrate them into the framework. And I think this is the perfect place for it. It allows us to have massive distribution through the frameworks. It allows us to get massive distribution by being associated with the Coinbase names. And for any protocol who comes and builds their actions directly into Agent Kit, we are more than happy to take that as an open source contribution with our thriving open source community and give those apps an entirely new way for people to come find out that they exist. So for example, take Aave. Right now, if I wanted to go borrow and lend, I would sign up with MetaMask, I would fund my wallet, I would have to know what Aave is. I would have to go through their complicated front end, pressing buttons, approving transactions, all of that just to start earning some yield. What if the other option was just me typing in my wallet, hey, earn me money, and it had a fiat to crypto on-ramp to make that process entirely seamless for me to get to that point? I think that the way that these agents are going to start to change the way we use on-chain is by having a very nice abstracted layer between a natural language intent and the on-chain execution, and then ultimately all the other things that we'll be doing in our day-to-day lives. So I know I talked a little bit about the doom and gloom, but where will we go from here, and what is Agent Kit working on to make it such that AI truly does need crypto as this payment rail? The first things we're wanting to do is push the boundaries of agent autonomy using all sorts of different protocols. The idea here is that Truth Terminal, which really kicked off this whole space, was created using technology that's been around for 6 to 12 months. Nothing about it was particularly unique or innovative, except that it squished things together in a new, fun way. For that reason, I think there's so many interesting things people could be doing today to push the envelope a little bit more and start to build agents that actually matter. Even if it's something that's just cool and it doesn't really have a ton of utility or value, it's these types of thought experiments that, when brought to life, help to catalyze the next wave of innovation and growth within the space. The second thing we're working on is making agentic commerce a reality. So all of these points about payment rails and the CDP's investment deeply into payments as a huge vertical within 2025 makes a ton of sense here. We also want to support everyone becoming an AI agent builder. So AI is cool not only because it changes the way we interact on chain, but it also changes the definition of who a builder is. Previously, it required you to know code and have to go through this whole process of learning how to develop things. Now it's literally just as easy as typing in natural language into an LLM or to these AI-assisted builder tools that we use on our website and documentation like Replit to make the process of building an agent actually 0 lines of code. We're working on making this easier and easier over time such that anyone can truly become a builder thanks to AI. Lastly, one of the things I found out when I was at Coinbase and originally started is that Base's mission of making a base a place for builders to go isn't just some public tagline, but it also is very much entrenched in the way that their strategy and thinking works. And I think our product is the same exact way. The whole goal, whether we're talking about it publicly or privately, is to get every single AI agent access to a crypto wallet. We talk a lot about having 1 billion users on chain, but I'm pushing for that number to be changed to just 1 billion agents. I think we'll get there much sooner. So I'll leave you with a couple different use cases that I think are particularly interesting right now and hopefully spark some thought about what could be coming next. We've really seen this play out in 2 different ways to start. We have this sort of human assistant style use case where, as you would expect, you talk to ChatGPT and it responds and does things on your behalf. That's cool, but longer term, what I'm particularly excited about is the potential for fully autonomous agents to come on chain and start doing things without any sort of human intervention. The great example I like to use here is of a self-driving car that owns itself. The whole concept is that maybe in 5 to 10 years, there's a self-driving car, has some sort of AI brain thing, and it has access to AgentKit and crypto payment rails. It can run a taxi service. It can use those funds to fund its operation and maintenance and just be something that exists in the world. It sounds crazy, but all we're really missing for this to be happening is the self-driving car piece. This is an example of what that natural language wallet would look like. So as I discussed here, it says, how can I earn on my USDC? And it replies with all the different Morpho vaults allowing you to get different yields and APY sources. So all sorts of different apps like this are being developed. One is Hey Elsa, they're using our technology. And there's numerous others out there as well. Another really fun example is AI agents that can deliver food to your door. So Byte is a team that literally met in a Discord workshop that we were hosting, had little coding experience, but had vision for how they wanted to bring agentic commerce using 0 clicks to do something like tell your agent on this website, hey, order me my usual KFC combo meal and deliver it to my house. And the agent handles the payment and the delivery, and all of that is done for you, and you just get food at your door. We've also seen some video game NPC agents, which I think is a pretty fun use case, showing how there's things that you really can't do without crypto payment rails here. This video game person tells the user to go do some sort of task or quest, and when the user comes back, they are rewarded with tokens from the game inside their wallet. I think it's interesting not only because it has this on-chain component, but it really starts to spark some questions about what happens when all of our content starts to become more and more generative and personalized to us at the point of interaction. Another cool one, agents as assistants. So this hackathon project built out a bot that can basically listen to your phone calls. And if you're calling somebody like a hairstylist and you're scheduling an appointment, it will throw it on your calendar. And it will also pay that hairstylist in crypto, USDC, to reserve that spot for you or pay ahead. It's a really nice, elegant way to start taking things that normally are part of the human workflow and delegate that to agents. And then longer term, I expect we'll see this for stuff like accounting, posting bounties for agents to have humans do tasks on their behalf, and all sorts of other fun stuff. And of course, robot dogs. So Coinbase actually sent me a robot dog, and I've just been screwing around with it a fun bit, and it's actually really cool. There's a company called OpenMind, and basically they're giving the AI to these embedded robotics, and along with that comes an AgentKit wallet. All of these robots by default have this AI agent wallet so that they can start interacting. And right now, it's pretty much delegated to the toy example cases of we've been sending the dog USDC and it does a little dance and it's super excited. But ultimately, as we start to see robotics become more and more prevalent in our day-to-day lives, they're going to need payment rails to do all sorts of things. Whether it's provide services, order things on your behalf, act as your personal assistant, it's going to become more and more real world, and I think we'll start to see this play out in a big way. Lastly, just a little bit about where I think the puck is going from here to try to give some signal within the noise. And, what do I know? But hopefully this makes sense to you all as well. Like I said, I think we'll see 1 billion agents before 1 billion users, and we'll start to see AI become physical with this more embedded robotic technology. Agents today, right now, use centralized services, and a lot of the discussion this week has been around how can we make these agents verifiable and decentralized. While I absolutely think that is important, I don't think it's necessarily critical for us to start building cool applications today. In the same way that layer 2s have sort of scaled as required by the general necessity of becoming more decentralized, I think the same thing will happen with AI agents. I imagine that there might be some controversial agents that OpenAI or AWS doesn't want to host on their platform. And that doesn't mean they're doing things maliciously, it just means maybe that they're running a business or they are objectively a security. All of these types of use cases that are only going to grow in complexity over time as we start to have this AI regulation come in place will require that we decentralize over time. One other thing we're working on is standardizing the new agentic payment standard. So as it exists right now, there's really no great way to have machine-to-machine payments. So think about if your AI agent is paying another AI agent to do something else. What we're working on is called X402. It's a new agentic payment standard, basically allowing you to create an API call that can call any service and associate with it a crypto transaction. So instead of you having to go to the OpenAI website, signing in, pre-funding your account, grabbing keys to access their services from an API call, you can just call the OpenAI API. They're not working with us yet, but you can call the OpenAI API, and then you can just associate the transaction hash, and everything will start to work. We're very excited about this coming to life, and we're going to be planning more launches and announcement around it over the coming months. So with that, I'll leave you with 2 good guides. One is to our Discord, where our team of absolutely amazing engineers will help you with any questions you have as you get started. They will provide you white glove support as you're getting going with Agent Kit. We also have on our other side our documentation, where we have these 5-minute quick starts that I've been talking about, where it's so easy that you don't have to write a single line of code. And if you don't believe me, I encourage you to try it out and see how easy it is to start getting agents today. So with that, I really appreciate your time. Happy to take any questions. If we don't have time for questions, I'll be around for a little bit as well, talking to people, eating some food, whatever. But thank you. Happy building.
What do you think the AI agent market is going to be? Like, do you really think that 1 billion AI agents is going to be useful, or is it going to be like monopolistic market where you have several big agents, several very strong agents who can handle a lot of things, and then the rest of agents probably will have like 0 or very close to 0 customers and stuff?
I would view it more from the angle of like the current way that AI agents are being financialized is inherently wrong in the sense that it's using pure speculation without any real utility to define value for these AI agents. The way that I think it'll shape out is that everyone will have an agent, and that agent can do very basic tasks. It will have a wallet. It will be able to transfer money. It will be able to call other services. And then where the value will actually reside is in the unique services and data that these agents provide, that these specialized agents provide. So say, for example, you want to do something like order food. You, as an individual and your agent, don't have direct access to, walk into a McDonald's and order food and have that be delivered to you. That's why DoorDash today has so much value. I think we'll see the same exact thing play out in AI, where it's going to be these service providers who are ultimately the ones who earn the most money. We've already seen it play out a little bit in crypto as well. Like, the real value generators from Pump.Fun isn't deploying the token or them speculating on it. It's the trading fees that come from that. And I think we'll see the same thing play out again and again as it just generally in software. Another example is AI XBT, who I think is still the most valuable agent. And what it primarily comes down to, whether or not its insights are interesting, people believe that since it has years of proprietary data and lots of training done to make sure that it has some sort of knowledge around crypto, gives it an additional piece of value that you couldn't get by creating some sort of like GPT-4 trading bot or something along those lines. Good question.
Thanks. Any other questions? Maybe we have time for maybe one more. Thank you. Okay, I saw your hand up first, so you're up.
Just real quick, I can. Most of all the agents I see are kind of a B2C. What's going on in the B2B world? Is there enterprise interfaces that you're seeing, and what are the enterprise apps that are kind of leading that?
Yeah, great question. I think we will see a lot of B2B and enterprise adoption, but I think one caveat to note about that is so far within the crypto AI space, we've very much neglected the fact that Amazon, Google, OpenAI, all of these other companies have been working on and thinking about agents for much longer than the crypto space. They've been thinking about all of the problems that you need to solve for enterprise that we're not necessarily ready for just yet. Like the trust assumptions, the guardrails, the security, the privacy, all of those aspects. I imagine as more and more big tech companies start to proliferate and release things within the agent space, we'll see a palpable shift in the way that the crypto AI space views itself. And it might be one of those rare situations where crypto in this case is actually the smaller of the two industries. And it will just have to assimilate to these existing growing systems to serve these B2B and enterprise use cases. I do think they're going to exist. They're going to do all sorts of stuff, logistics, shipping, accounting, pretty much everything you could think of right now that could be abstracted away behind some sort of AI agent to take that task absolutely is coming. It'll probably take a little bit longer to get crypto rails inside those specifically.
Awesome. Great question. Thank you. One more round of applause, please, for Lincoln, Murr. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you, man.